Welcome back. We're here in the green room. My name is Samuel Hazen. I host this here show called The Green Room. We're here tonight with Clover. She's going to be our guest. You are a celebrity in the world of cosplay.
Cosplay, yes.
Cosplay, that's right, that's right. Tell us a little bit more about that. What exactly is cosplay?
Cosplay is basically whenever you see at a Star Trek convention or any sort of conglomeration of fans of any kind, you'll see that they're dressed up in costume. Well, that's a pretty natural thing, but cosplay actually came from Nobuo Takahashi in the 60s. And it was the creator of Astro Boy. It's a very old anime. He had been at a convention and he had seen children playing in his costumes. And the same way in Japanese, you'll have Pokemon, like you'll have two words, it means pocket monster. It was costume play. So whenever these words come together, you have costume play about a convention. So.
Okay, well, I'm going to back you up there for just a second. You mentioned a word before, anime. Could you go a little bit more into what that is exactly?
Anime is Japanese animation, which is Japanese cartoons, which you'd think, in America, of course, cartoons are used for children only.
Usually on Saturdays. Yeah,
Saturday morning cartoons. But whereas in Japan, anime will actually be a primetime event. It's something that you'll see on normal television. It'll have full series runs dealing with adult content.
Kind of like CSI.
It is, exactly, like animated CSI. And you'll have these amazingly thick plots and things that deal with religions, with social issues, with, I mean, real tough stuff, actually.
So how long have you personally been cosplaying?
I have actually been cosplaying for over a decade, so it's about 11 years now, unfortunately.
Well, unfortunately, she says.
Yes. Well, you know, it does come with a connotation of being a nerd whenever you're sitting out here in costumes, but you have to realize that this is more than some silly hobby. It's something that people invest in, that they express themselves through. And in truth, you do run into a lot of nerds, of course, your fanboys, if you will. But you run into these minds that have been socially ostracized whenever they were young, these teenagers that we all got called nerds and we got made fun of, but whenever we're at this convention, it's like suddenly everything opens up to us. We have all of our own kind around us. We're walking around in costumes of characters we love, that we look up to. It becomes this subculture, actually.
That's really, really interesting. Now, speaking of conventions, you're actually the head owner and operator of a convention. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yes, I am the co-founder and current acting president of Oni-con LLC, based out of Houston, Texas. And basically, we had our first event back in 2003, I want to say, or 4. No, it was 2003, and now is our 8th year. Will be this year. And in general, we started out as an anime club, and it was just a bunch of us, maybe 16 kids getting together and watching anime. And then one day we decided, well, we see these anime conventions popping up all over the place, and we said, okay, well, why don't we do one of these? So now 8 years later, we have a attendance of over 6,000. And I mean mixed, it's not just children, so.
That's wonderful. What initially got you involved in this world of cosplay?
Honestly, it's kind of like a stair-stepping drug as far as that goes. Like, I watched my first anime and I got into it, and I got on old online forums is actually where most people would meet their contacts. And I ended up seeing stuff about these conventions, and I went, oh wow, what's, you know, all these costumes, that looks cool. And I think I was only about 13 years old at the time, but I ended up making my own little costume and putting on a funky shade wig and ended up going there, and I met nothing but friends, and it was never been the same since. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on to the show tonight. It was really wonderful having you out here. Stay tuned. We'll be back after these messages. We're going to be going into a little bit more detail on the whole anime thing.